the dialectical process, the same power elites create issues, and then they control both sides of these issues. They build a power base, they mobilize people, and they solicit funding from supporters on both sides of the issue. But only those at the top will determine the final outcome.
We're going to bring out Ron Paul in a little while.
Many of your supporters call themselves 9/11 truthers. They believe that the U.S. government was in some way complicit with the 9/11 attacks or covered it up. Are you tonight prepared to either embrace that rhetoric or ask those supporters to abandon it or divorce themselves from your candidacy?
Well, I can't tell people what to do, but I've abandoned those viewpoints. I don't believe that, and that's all. I've abandoned those viewpoints. I don't believe that, and that's all. That's the only thing that is important.
The power elite set up controlled opposition fronts in order to bring about revolution. And I found a good definition of a controlled opposition front. Listen to this. The way to wield supreme power in any situation is not to stamp out all opposition. This would only create pressure that would eventually explode. What is needed is to allow for an opposition which you can control. And if this opposition believes that it is independent, that's even better, for it will attack the ruling power and lead the people to believe that the power is tolerating dissent.
Hi there. Is this Velasco chapter of the Eastern Star?
No, I'm not their secretary anymore.
Oh, okay. Ma'am, do you think you could answer maybe a question for me? I'm trying to find out information on. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find out information on the Representative Ron Paul. I was just wondering if it is it a fact that his wife and daughters was a member of the Velasco chapter Eastern Star?
No, they're a member of Lake Jackson.
Oh, so they are members of the Eastern Star organization.
His wife is a member of Lake Jackson chapter.
Any willingness to embrace the 9/11 conspiracy stuff. A lot of your supporters do seem to embrace the whole 9/11 conspiracy, that the towers were brought down by the Bush administration. Address that. Do you think the American government, the U.S. government, had anything to do with bringing those towers down, either directly or allowing it to happen?
I think indirectly out of ineptness rather than participating in it, planning it, or allowing it to happen. I see it's ineptness. That's why I think the investigations are always cover-up of the inefficiency of government.
In fact, you had folks on the 9/11 Commission who made some of the decisions, and they were on the commission there to cover themselves up.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. That's why I don't trust the investigations. But, you know, the neocons were very explicit, even before 9/11, that it would be an advantage if they had a Pearl Harbor type of an event where they could move their foreign policy along and use that as an excuse. That doesn't mean there's evidence that they planned it. You know, I don't think you can go from one step to the other. But if certain events occur, they can make good use of it. And I think that's what they've done, because there's tremendous evidence that there had been plans laid for almost 10 years before that to go in and have regime change in Iraq.
Many of your supporters call themselves 9/11 truthers. They believe that the U.S. government was in some way complicit with the 9/11 attacks or covered it up. Are you tonight prepared to either embrace that rhetoric or ask those supporters to abandon it or divorce themselves from your candidacy?
Well, I can't tell people what to do, but I've abandoned those viewpoints. I don't believe that, and that's all. I've abandoned those viewpoints. I don't believe that, and that's all. That's the only thing that is important.